Students, we can start.
A very good evening to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure and privilege to welcome our guest speaker for the day, Ms. Zena Chung. Zena Chung is the CEO of EVA Global Holdings from Seoul, South Korea. EVA Global Holdings is a company specializing in communications and consulting in the field of diplomatic relations, trade and investment, and international business. She is also the director for Hallyu Festival Organizing Committee. Her main area of focus and passion is to combine people with love, peace, and unity through promoting bilateral and multilateral cultural exchanges at the same time creating more business opportunities for mutual growth and development. In this context, she also founded KIBCS, that stands for Korea Indian Business and Cultural Forum. We find this as a great opportunity to have you among us, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram, ma'am.
Jai Shri Ram, ma'am.
Jai Shri Ram, ma'am.
Thanks to Sangeeta, and thank you, Ms. Zena, of course, to join in with us on this session of Project SOCH, where we are into the week 8th, of course, and students from ACIC GIT Gunupur University have joined us. This Project SOCH is, of course, designed once India got the chance to preside G20 nations. So what we as a team, that is Atmana Bharat learning team, and of course R2B and officials from ACIC GIT Gunupur University, we thought of to create one of the platform where we will be inviting officials and of course professionals across G20 nations, discovering what are the good practices among these countries, what are good with us and what are the good with these countries, so that we can actually speak on and discuss on and take on those good learnings across globes and across these countries. So I'm actually eager to hear Mrs. Zena Chuk here, of course. She joined us. She is presently in Lucknow, of course, but she is officials and professional from South Korea. Welcome, madam, to join with us. Just to know about how this learning is and how you have started on. I came to know regarding this Hayullu festival, which is very much famous in South Korea. So I would like to know how it's been, how it gets started, and what all those activities actually within this Hayullu festival, which South Korean people actually celebrating, or how they are celebrating.
So first, thanks for asking, and thank you very much for inviting me as well. I'm very happy to be with you today. First, you have to understand the meaning of Hayullu. So Hayullu, it means Korean culture wave, shortly spoken K culture. So it includes such as K-pop. You heard about the BTS and Blackpink, so we call it K-pop, and K-drama. I know around the world a lot of people, they like to watch Korean soap operas, the Korean dramas, and K-beauty, including a lot of like Korean cosmetics and fashion, and K-food, so and so on. So I started this Hallyu Festival and now work as a director of Hallyu Festival Organizing Committee. And also, as you know, Korea India Business and Culture Forum called the KIBCF. I started this a long time ago because I'm always interested in culture that put people together.
Thank you. Good to hear that how this festival is and what the initiatives you are taking on. trying to actually align Korean practices and the Korean culture within the framework of India, of course, and Korea-India integration, which you are trying for by this KIBCF fund initiative. Just to know for our learners and our students, how is really this South Korea country as per se? It is different from other global countries. Please define us.
Korea is a very unique country indeed. It is a country of just a little over 50 million. And but its GDP is 2 trillion. From this, you can get an idea of how hardworking people are in my country. I guess there is no other country like this in the world where people work extremely hard for days and night, and students study days and night for better life than now, and also for better success than now. So I express this very hardworking environment in Korea and among Koreans as sleeveless in Korea. I don't know you have seen the movie Sleepless in Seattle. So instead of Sleepless in Seattle, I call Sleepless in Korea. So Koreans are very hardworking. And because of this hardworking environment, it really had become one of the main reasons why Korea moved from the war, from the Korean War in 1950s. And within that 67 years, Korea had a huge economic success. So that part, I believe, it's very different from other nations, the fast economic growth. And everybody knows also Korea is still divided from North and South Korea. So that also makes Korea always a big geopolitical challenge as well.
Just as you discussed on or you told us regarding the division between the North Korea and the South Korea, how these two countries are different actually. As per the ideology, is there any difference?
I not only ideology-wise, Korea is has a democracy and free open economy called capitalism. And as you already know, North Korea is still under communism, and it doesn't have like the capitalism and free market economy. So another thing is that when you talk about democracy and free market, the people have our own freedom, including religious freedom and the political freedom of express. Unfortunately, in North Korea, they don't have this freedom yet. So that makes, North Korea still, one of the rarest countries in the world without that, freedom. Yeah.
Got to know. It is symbolic to how India actually per se is exercising the democracy across all the states and how the practices are being followed within the Indian state. I do agree on that. If the communalism is there or the ideology changes are there, there will be bitter experiences across the nations. Those who are actually within aligning territories are like we are also sharing with our different countries. So my very next question is, because you had been to India so many times and presently also you are in Lucknow itself. How you see this India South Korea tie-up, both economically and academically, of course, too?
What I see is the huge economic benefits since India has the biggest world population from March 2023, more population than China. And also India, I heard that you have 28 different states, and it looks like 28 states are like 28 nations in India, because each state is very diverse and unique. And so I see the current economic ties between the two countries are very good, and economic ties have a great potential. In terms of academics, I strongly believe more Korean students should visit and study in India, and vice versa. More Indian students also can come and not only study in Korea, but also visit in Korea, because they will become very important bridge that connect the two nations through many young students who always can become the great leaders to lead the countries.
Just within the discussion, I would like to know what all the things which, if you can count on, what all those things which are being imported to India or vice versa exported to India, how it is that ties, economical ties, or even across globe, what are the things which is being imported from South Korea to the global countries, if you can narrate.
So if I talk about some good practices within South Korean people, there are many. To start with, Korean people, most of the times, they are very punctual, and I see in general they have a very strong responsibility. So they seem to respect the time, and they seem to respect their responsibilities as a family member, as an employee for the company and for organizations. And also they have a very strong work ethics. And talking about strong work ethics, so when I meet many foreign ambassadors in Korea, what they are very surprised being and living in Korea. For example, when they leave their purse on the table in a coffee shop or in a restaurant, even though they are sitting alone on the table, and when they go to use the washroom, and then when they come back to their place, their purse and wallets are still there. So nobody take these stuff. And they wonder, how come that can be possible? And so in general, people seem to have a very strong ethics not to touch other people's stuff. But later on, this is a little funny story. When I talked with some Korean people,
It's good.
that the reason is why is that in Korea, we have a very great like a CCTV. So every place it has a CCTV. So if somebody is left the wallet and purse on the table, but still CCTV can record everything. So that's also one of the reasons that they cannot touch the other people's belongings. So, but in general, they seem to work hard and have a strong work ethics, and they are very patriotic. And as you know, since Korea is still divided in North and South Korea, so all South Korean men, they have this military duties. So they gotta go to military to serve the country. Yeah. So that's one thing. And also another interesting practice about characteristics about Koreans and Korean culture is the mentality of fast and fast. Like because since Korea is very dynamic and the changes are very fast. Everything changes so fast. So Koreans have the mentality of fast. Everything has to be fast. Even the internet connection, Wi-Fi connection, it has to be, 5G, or even now they talk about 6G. So if the internet connection is slow, and even like when you go to the public office, try to get some documents, everything has to be fast. So all the systems in Korea, either private sector or public sector, everything is fast. So the fast mentality is very quite unique trends of Koreans. And I heard that in Hindi, you say jolly.
It seems you know Hindi words a lot because you have started with the Jai Sri Ram. It's the practice which we usually do within our villages actually. Urban people nowadays they don't follow these things, but in our villages we greet people as Jai Sri Ram only, and that jaldi word. So you had been into several times to India, and I do respect that if the country people are respecting the time, if they have the responsibility, if the work ethics is there, uh, country will of course follow those things and country will progress. Just within the discussion, you were talking about the 6G and the 5G. I would like to know your personal view, how you are looking for that chat GPT, because you were discussing or you were saying that country is actually very much fast into this technical disruption. What are your personal view and what all the otherwise view of across the globe this regarding this chat GPT?
Oh, chat GPT. Yeah, right now, even in Korea, everybody talks about chat GPT, and that's very popular. And also people talk a lot about the artificial intelligence, AI. And even like, when I go to the restaurants and coffee shops, instead of the waiter and waitress bring the food or coffee, those little robot moves around and saying even hello, and then bring the food and bring the coffee. And then later on, when we finish eating the meal and coffee or tea, they also pick up the tray and bring it back to the count. So more and more, those automatic systems and the technologies, it makes our life a lot more convenient, the technology and innovation. And I know that sometimes many people are concerned about if these robots replace a lot of human labors, how the society can work and how people can live to make money. But I believe that I'm a very positive person, always try to see the reality and problems into a more like a positive way. I believe that even though there are some people who concerns about the future, about the all those robots and taking people's jobs or whatever, but even there are, I have some friends who are reporters who write, articles for newspaper. And then the friend who are editor-in-chief were concerned about now ChatGPT will replace so many newspaper articles. But I believe that human beings are very creative and intelligent. They will create something more creative jobs for the future and for the society, for the world.
Okay, okay.
So I see it in a very positive trend.
Of course, we all see if this disruption is going to come, we need to hone with a different skill set. We need to be very much positive, and we need to be trained on how we can utilize that those particular technologies. How it is different actually. A waiter is coming to you and serving you, than a robot coming to you and serving you.
Can you tell me that again?
How is this experience actually different from a human race? Of course, once a robot is coming, once you are going for a hotel for dining in or dining out, and if the robot,
If I describe that, yeah, if I
how this
describe,
experience?
okay, if I describe a little bit more, I was very surprised because a robot, even the serving robots, they are machines, they are always in a good mood, very pleasant mood to greet to, you know, the people in the restaurant. Because we are, you know, humans, sometimes we have a good days and bad days. So good days, we are happy to serve for other people, but sometimes when we have a bad days, you know, we try to be happy, but still kind of, you know, we have that kind of, you know, like a hard time. But I was surprised that the robots recorded those, for example, the serving robots, their tone of voice and the messages and even the little screen picture with some like a girl's face or a boy's face or, you know, lady's face or a man's face. So everything is recorded. So I was very surprised that the serving robots are always in a very pleasant mood.
Okay, okay. As Sanmitra was reading about your this thing, your introductory profile, we would like to know more about your organization, per se, that is EVA Global Holdings. What exactly this organization is doing? How this organization is supporting within the South Korea and across the globe also.
Okay, so first, if I talk about my consulting company, EVA Global Holdings, it's a consulting company that specializes in communication and consulting in the field of public relations, trade, and international business and investment. My company also advises foreign companies who are interested in doing business with Korean companies or Korean companies that are interested in going abroad to set up a new company in a foreign country. And another thing is now, you know, the Hayullu organizing, Hayullu Festival organizing committee that I work as a director. You know, my idea is that culture that always put people together. So I try to I try to promote a lot of cultural exchanges for bilateral or multilateral. And so it's not just an idea that, oh, we bring only the Korean culture to introduce. We bring the Korean culture to introduce other people, but at the same time, it's not the one way, it's a two-way. Try to learn from also the other countries' different culture, because you know, learning, it always has to be two sides, not like driving a car on a one way, you know. And I guess that's all.
Okay.
Anything else? Uh-huh.
just because you were talking about the intercultural practices and all, and we Indians are more actually focused towards intercultural seminars, intercultural programs, even inviting students from other countries, and our students are also going across the globe in exchange program where we are actually we are showcasing our practices and of course trying to learn on the other countries' practices too. My question to you is how this cultural integration and the collaborative efforts will be really helpful to save the next generation problems or the global challenges.
A very good question. So cultural and collaborative efforts are the foundations of all relationships. So naturally, they play very important roles. In public relations, there are terms for economic diplomacy and also cultural diplomacy. Economic diplomacy can focus on bringing more businesses to the different countries. However, cultural diplomacy can put people together under love, peace, and unity. So I believe that whenever we do more cultural exchanges, it brings the world together. And I really support the value of your Narendra Modi ji, because his idea of one global, one planet, one family, and one future. So we are, even though the Earth, the planet has, we have many different nationalities and different countries, and we have to use different passports and things like that. But on one globe, but we are all like one global citizen. We are all like brothers and sisters. So I believe that this attitude of mutual respect and mutual care and trying to understand and help each other in terms of one global citizen, it really, helps and support to understand different cultures and different people into harmony.
Okay. You were mentioning regarding our honorable Prime Minister ji. I came to know that in the year of 2018 or 19, I think Sir visited, our Honorable Prime Minister Sir visited to South Korea. Had you got the chance to meet him during that visit?
I was really lucky to meet your Narendra Modi ji in 2019 on February 19th and 20th when he was in Korea to receive the Seoul Peace Prize Award, and also when he had given the Gandhi ji statue to Yonsei University when there's a South Korean president and the first lady was there. And I was very lucky that for different events, both of them I was invited. And so I had a chance to listen to your Modi ji's speeches several times. And my impression about your Modi ji, he is a great public speaker. He delivers his speech and he touches people's heart. And also, as part of showing an attitude that he respects the other culture, he, even during his short visit, he learned a Korean sentence. He said, "Let's go together," in Korean. He learned the Korean and he said, "Let's go together, 함께 갑시다," in Korean. And so he was a very great public speaker. when I listened to his speech. But visiting India, when I talked with the Your Honorable Modi ji, and they were talking about Modi ji that he used to sell chai in the train station, and now he's very honorable Prime Minister of India. So he really gives ordinary Indians kind of hope and dream. Sort of like when you work hard, you can do something and become a good leader, and you can do a lot for your country. So I was very impressed to talk with many Indian people about Your Honorable Modi ji. And the other difference is between Korean politicians and Indian politicians, or maybe especially Your Honorable Modi ji. Many Indian people see Modi ji not only prime minister as a political leader, but also like a spiritual, like a mentor. That is a kind of something that I found quite interesting.
Thanks for conveying those words, because we keep on saying, of course, and across Indian citizens, we keep on talking about this. But it's good to listen from your words and from you, of course, regarding Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. We were talking about the mantra of that G20, which India is going to preside. How exactly you are looking in if India is going to take this G20 presidency?
First, the congratulations. So India taking G20 presidency, and it's a very good. It's a great chance for India to go forward the huge progress and to play a much bigger role in the international field. And because of G20 presidency, there were even not long ago, there were many foreign ministers. They all came to India for G20 foreign ministers meeting, and it looks like it seems like there are so many international conference, international like investors summits, and there are so many important activities in India. So that's also one of the reasons why I come to visit India often. So January, I was here for 1 week. February, I was here for like 2 weeks. And now I'm here for March. And thanks to God, like I may visit to India again almost every month. So personally, it gives me a chance to visit India often, but publicly, it gives India a lot more, brings a focus to the world, thanks to G20 presidency. So congratulations. Congratulations very much.
Thanks for those words. Of course, that India is going to preside this G20 presidency, and across globe, this makes a recognition for not only for the country, for ministries, for departments, and the work which India is going to take up, or the challenges which we keep on talking about. Please let us inform regarding your efforts, what you are doing within the India. As per your domain expertise, what exactly how you are helping India, or how you are helping South Korean country while integrating or while actually working on those domain expertise of yours?
Personally, I was always interested in India, and also economic point of view. I believe that, India is not only a big country with the 28 different states, I call it 28 nations within India, and also the huge population of Indian diaspora around the world. The Prime Minister of UK is from India, even the current Vice President of USA is from, her mother is Indian. And even the several ministers for the country in Canada, they are Indians. So I see, and also, by March, India has the biggest population in the world. So biggest population means a huge market for business owners to set up the companies and to open the companies and to export their products and import their products. So I, because of that reason, I, pay a lot of attention to India as a great big emerging market, as a big, with a big economic potential. And so I'm working with the India at both public and private sector levels. So my engagement is multidimensional, and I believe that it will bring good results. So as a part of my initiatives, I founded this Korea-India Business Culture Forum. I call it KIBCF. So I plan to organize several cultural events in India to introduce some Korean, K-pop music and Korean dances, but at the same time, together with Indian music and Indian song, Indian dances like that. So to help the Korea and India become much closer on the people-to-people level. Yeah.
Thanks.
And also Korea and India also very historically connected, because the princess of Ayodhya came to Korea and she got married to a Korean king. And there are still so many descendants of Princess of Ayodhya. In February, I was very lucky to visit Ayodhya, and I visited Shri Ram Temple. And it was quite inspiring to visit Shri Ram Temple in Ayodhya. And for Korean government side, they opened the Queen Her. In Korea, the Princess of Ayodhya, we call her Queen Her. So Queen Her Memorial Park was opened, let's say, 2 years ago.
Really good to know that how Ayodhya, Korea is connected within. Might be some of our students might not be knowing about this, or our viewers will not be knowing about this. My last question to you, of course, because we are associated and connected with all the students here. What are your key suggestions to all our learners and students for shaping their career and meeting the life milestones?
Okay, so what I would like to tell your students is that always set your goals. I believe that the goal setting is very important. You have to, set your goals, what you really want to do in your life. So for that, first you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself that, who you are, what kind of person you are, what you really like to do. And to really understand what you really like to do, you also have to know that what you really do not like to do. Because for people, there is a saying that when people do something they love to do, it's called a hobby. But when people do something they really do not like to do, it's called a stress. So first, you really have to know what you really like to do, and then you have to know what you really do not like to do. And it's much easier when you focus on doing things that you really like to do. Then whatever you do, because you really like to do, so every time it's just so enjoyable. So you continue to work hard, and then someday you reach your goals and your, great career success and life success, to achieve, great, your own success, to fulfill your own like self, accomplishment. So first, I wanna tell you that try to understand, yourself first. Who you are and what kind of person you are. Another thing I would like to tell your students is that is two things I wanna tell you. Singing is believing. If you don't see, you cannot tell. And also another thing I want to tell you is that experiencing is believing. In life, experiencing is very important. Let's say that oh, there is an Indian food that's, by the way, when I had the Indian food, I was very surprised that there are so many goodies, sweet things. Oh, Jollibee.
Jalebi. It's called
Jollibee. Jollibee, it's what the honey and Jollibee. Jollibee, it's round and very sweet. So for example, I had it, so I know now what the taste is like because I experienced eating it. But if you don't experience, somebody tells about the Jollibee so many times, you have no idea what it is. So, in life, having many different experiences is very important. Not only to understand about yourself and also to understand the world, So I'm telling, many young students, try to do your best, take advantage of being young and youth, try to have as many experience as possible. If you can, travel a lot as well, because traveling, it really also gives the people to grow from, from being away from their ordinary life. And also, life is sometimes, you cannot just, have a big success over the night. Everything takes time and everything takes hard work. So no pain and no gain. But, instead of seeing life as always dark, try to see life as a bright, rosy, future. Always have the positive attitude, because I realized the one thing, when I meet many different levels of people like to be associated with the others who bring this positive energy and also bring the, good spirits of motivation and hope and encouragement, rather than somebody who brings a kind of those negative feelings of being sad and being like frustrated and being angry or being depressed. Or so your positive energy and your passion, and that when you enjoy your life, you're that happy vibe and positive vibe will bring you become much close to other people. So always just to trust yourself and never give up. That's what I would like to tell you.
Happy to hear you, Mrs. Shuk, because, and I must say, you are a good narrator because you are trying to say that first try to identify yourself. First try to find yourself first. Once you are actually finding it out what you like or what you don't like, then you are very well. It's become easy to actually set on the goals because you know that what all the things, activities which you don't like, or what are the things which you like. And of course, experiencing is believing. And that jalebi, mentioning of the jalebi, usually uh, we don't take these examples, but people like you, are you fond of Indian movies? Just out of this, uh, are you listening to Indian songs or Indian movies?
Oh, the Indian songs that recently got Oscar
Natu Natu.
music, the RRR movie, Batu Batu.
Natu Natu.
Oh,
It's
Natu. Yeah. So congratulations. I'm sure I watched it and I enjoyed it. The only thing personally that I wish I could dance as much I could. And India is well known for Bollywood. So in the future I would like to see more Indian movies. But I heard several Indian songs when some of my friends sing Hindi songs, and I was very surprised that the melody, even though I don't understand the songs and lyrics, but the melody was so smooth and beautiful. I felt like it's like a bird, So the Hindi songs, it's beautiful. It sounds beautiful.
Thanks for giving those words. Students, if you have any questions, just unmute yourself and speak on. Even you can write it on the chat box also. I request our volunteer Sangmitra to do share a certificate of gratitude to today's guest speaker from South Korea, Ms. Zena Shuk. Happy to hear you. Looking forward how we can integrate some of the programs, specifically the intercultural programs, which me and my team members are actually trying for, not only for the South Korea and across globe. We are looking forward for. Keep on going. Please find this certificate of gratitude from our team, and thanks for supporting this project SOCH. Thank you. Students, if you have any queries, please let us know. Sangmitra, you can close this, you can stop this sharing. Okay, students, please let me know if you have any queries. No queries? Okay. I request all to switch on. Yeah, please.
Good evening, ma'am. Even I don't have any query, but I was very fascinated how you are very like mingling to the Indian culture, and how you loved how you loved Indian culture. Because I had a question that I would ask you, that how you find Indian culture, but throughout the session I got to know, I got my answer already. that you love Indian culture, and even my friends are also there. Even I do love Korean songs also. Some was like I don't see it much, but I knew my friends are like they admire Korean dramas and Korean songs as well. So it's
That's
very
why
happy to hear you, ma'am.
Hallyu,
What?
the K-pop. It's
Sorry, ma'am.
called Hallyu. Hallyu means that the K-pop and the Korean music, we call it Hallyu.
Okay, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here.
I
Thank you.
request, Madam, it was great to know. Just reading out Gargi's view on this today's session. Madam, it was great to know insights about life of Korean people. I just wanted to know, is there any similarity between two countries, that is India and South Korea? As the two countries share history through an Indian princess, being the Queen of Korea. So, is there any connection of the history apart from this, which you have shared to us?
I know that now in India, Hindi is the major religion, but before that there was Buddhism. And in Korea, traditionally, we had a strong Buddhism. So, so probably in that sense, there's some connections between India and Korea, because a long time ago, even Korean monks, there is a well-known Korean monk called Haecho. He traveled all the way from Korea to India long time ago to learn about the your Buddhism. So that's one point that I can mention. And for Koreans, unfortunately, still India seems kind of quite different from our own culture, because people look different, the food is different, the language is different. So they would like to come to India, but sometimes they see it a big challenge. What I mean is compared for Koreans to compare to, like Far East countries like China and Japan, and also the Southeast Asian countries like Philippines and Vietnam, and but the food, because Far East Asia and Southeast Asia, the food are similar to ours, and the people kind of look more alike. But like India is quite different from us. That's why we need to promote a lot more cultural exchanges, so they know that we just look different and the food is different, but in our heart, we are all one global citizen, and trying to meet people and understand the people and learn about the people as brothers and sisters, and they will find this discovery quite interesting, and then building a great friendship. So, many Koreans can make a lot of Indian friends, and many Indian, friends can make many Korean friends, and also many, Korean companies can come to India and find business opportunities, things like that, vice versa. Yeah.
Thanks, Mrs. Zena. Of course, we do respect this global citizenships and the harmony which we are focusing for, and that is why this SOCH stand for socio-economical, cultural, organizational practices and harmony among all these G20 nations. And we are not focusing only for the G20 nations. We are being focused as our mantra for the G20 presidency is, we are actually trying to make globally one nation, one country, one people, one cultural likewise. And the practices which we are sharing, that is democracy, India and Korea, South Korea, both are practicing for, we have a connections with Ayodhya to South Korea, and we do know that how the Buddhism is integrated within the India and of course the South Korean culture. So there are the similarities, although the diversity stays within these territories and within the countries, but we do respect all those citizenships and global citizenships. Thanks for supporting this, and thanks for those words, of course, which you have conveyed through this dialogue and through this discussion. We keep on interacting and we keep on meeting. I personally focusing more for these intercultural programs within India to South Korea and of course other countries. Thank you. Namaskar. And yes, I would
Namaste.
like to
Jai
know
Shri Ram.
Jai Sri Ram, and I would like to know what is to be said if I need to say thank you in Korea.
There are two words. One is 고맙습니다. 고맙습니다. 고맙습니다.
Sumedha.
습니다. The other one
Sumedha.
is 감사합니다.
Hameda. Okay.
Which one is easier? 감사합니다.
Hamsa Hameda is easier.
Okay, so then 감사합니다.
Hamsa Hameda. Namaskar.
Namaste. Jai Shri Ram.
Okay.